Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all are having a great day so far. So today on my desk, I have another package from Mangoal Tech. This is their hardwiring solution for their OEM dash cams. I am very glad that they provided this solution. And in today's video, we are going to be going through the unpackaging process, some initial impressions, the installation, and a general review of this product. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So this package was shipped to me by Mangoal Tech for an unbiased review. So once again, Mangoal Tech, thank you very much for shipping this out to me. This sample arrived in a brown packing material and in this heat resistant reflective sort of plastic packaging. We can see some more information here as well. However, to open the package, it looks like we just need to tear this open from the top. And then open the Ziploc. To retrieve what's inside. On this informational pamphlet, please read the following instruction carefully before installation. 1. The definition of the 3 wires of Mangoal dashcam power cable. So it looks like they defined which colored wire they use for what purpose. They use black for ground for some reason. Connects to the vehicle's body, usually fixed on a metal screw. So for those of you who are used to understanding the black wire as the hot, that is not the case here. Red wire for accessory, provides power only when the vehicle's ignition is turned to on. And the yellow wire for VCC, B+, provides constant power regardless of the ignition state. Number 2. Will the battery power be exhausted and the vehicle cannot be started? The parking monitoring mode will not consume all the battery power, because Mangoal dashcam uses advanced power protection technology. I have some questions about this, but let's move along. When the camera detects that the battery power supply is less than 11.6 volts, the camera automatically enters a sleep state and consumes almost no power. Make sure the battery has enough voltage the next time you start the car. Okay, so it's incumbent upon the customer to verify that the battery's power supply is not less than 11.6 volts, and that the battery inside your vehicle has enough of a voltage to start. So in most cars, that's typically between, 12.6, 12.8 volts, something like that. Caution, please turn off the car before installation to avoid car failure alarm. And that's a good thing to note as well. There's nothing on the other side. And going further into the packaging here, we have a variety of different wires. Let's go through these one at a time. This seems to be a fuse tap for just the yellow, so one singular fuse tap. We have another here, which is of a different size. Let's see if I could organize these a little bit better here. We can go ahead and continue with the yellows for now. This is another fuse tap of a different size, and yet another fuse tap of a different size with these crimping connectors at the end. That seems to be all the yellows, so let's move on to the red. Here's a red connector of a different size, another red connector of a different size here, another red connector of a different size here. It's also worth mentioning that each of these fuse taps have embedded fuses in them already, so be sure to check those fuses are good prior to installing them in your vehicle. And finally, this, which seems to be the power adapter from that cable that we saw in the first video, to then be run down to the fuse box itself. And those are all the cables that come in the kit. I suspect that the reason why they provide all these different sizes is so that it could fit among a variety of different vehicles within each of their interior fuse boxes. On this longer cable, we also seem to have labels. We have our ground connection over here, which has this connector. We have our accessory cable here. Yellow is our B+, and of course, the connector that I mentioned earlier. So now that we went through all the cables mentioned here, and since there seems to be no further instruction provided, it is recommended that you consult the help of someone who's familiar with hardwiring dash cams or other types of products to interior vehicle fuse boxes first, prior to purchasing this kit. However, due to the variety of options that we have here, I anticipate that doing the hardwiring process should not be much of an issue. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take these wires and move over to the Cadillac to see if we can hardwire the dash cam in there. Alright, now that we are inside the XT5, we are going to need to remove this plastic cover so that we can begin attaching the hardwiring kit and running the cable along the headliner, down this side pillar, and down this side area here, so that we can reach the interior fuse box. We can begin to do this by pulling the front side of this plastic cover down first, then prying this middle cover off, and then sliding out this part of the assembly away from the mirror and towards us so that we now have access to the power plug. From here, I have connected the power plug to the new hard wiring solution and have reassembled it by first engaging those plastic clips on either side, then re-engaging the plastic cover here and pressing the base of the housing until it clicks into place. As you're running the wire along the perimeter, inside this pillar, there are 2 clips, one at the bottom here and one at the top here. If you pull away with enough force, you should be able to move this pillar, tuck the wire underneath this headliner, and then run the wire along the weather stripping here, behind this plastic, across here, and underneath until you could run it right about there or so. From here, you could get your 7mm ratchet and remove the bolt that is holding that panel in place and carefully pull it back to access the interior fuse block. So before we continue, we'll go ahead and explain what we are going to do with each of these 3 wires. For this first black wire with a hook on it, this is our ground connection, and it's going to go to a metal ground bolt. Our red accessory connection here needs a constant 12-volt power source. So we are going to find a non-critical fuse to tap into to get that constant 12 volts. And this yellow wire is our B positive. For this particular wire, we are going to be tapping a fuse that only gets 12 volts when the car is turned on. In this case, I decided to tap fuse F16, which is the sunroof located over here. And this is what the fuse tap looks like. You will want to insert the 20 amp fuse below the other 5 amp fuse that is going to be on this wire, and making sure that these prongs match where the fuse will be going inside the vehicle. And for the yellow B plus wire, I decided to tap fuse F24 for the USB charger wireless charging. It is a 10 amp fuse. As for the ground wire, there is a ground bolt over here down to the left. However, I did need to end up extending that ground wire, which I'm going to cover up here in a little bit. And that brings me to what I would consider a flaw in this kit. These wires in general are too short for what they are supposed to do. If you are going to be installing this kit in any vehicle that is larger than a sedan, I would strongly recommend to prepare for extending these wires, because as it is, these wires are simply too short to go to where they need to be. After those wires are installed, we can temporarily close this area back up, turn on the vehicle, and see if we have any lights. And it looks like the camera is on and is gaining adequate power to be viewed normally. We can also see in our app settings now, parking mode hardwire kit required has both of these options available to us, and we can go ahead and adjust settings as needed. And there you have it. As of the time of this video, I have been testing this hardwiring kit for the past 3 weeks or so, and parking monitoring is working as it should, as well as all the other functionality of the camera, such as recording. So overall, I think it's an average hardwiring kit and would be perfectly serviceable for vehicles that are not larger than a Mazda 3 or a Corolla. Unfortunately, using the same kit on anything larger, such as a light-duty truck or a Cadillac XT5, for example, is slightly more difficult because the cables are just too short. You need more wire run to be able to link the cables to their appropriate destination. However, if you have the knowledge to extend the wire, which is pretty simple, then this kit should work out for you as well. But in any case, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if this video has helped you at all, feel free to give it a like, and also consider subscribing as it helps the channel a lot. But in any case, thank you all for watching. There's more content to come in the future, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.